I'll never forget the day my parents kicked me out of the house. I was 19 years old, and my parents had had enough of my rebellious attitude and lack of direction. They had given me an ultimatum: get a job, go to college, or get out. I chose the latter. I packed a small bag and left the only home I had ever known. I had no idea where I was going or what I was going to do. I had no money, no job, and no place to call my own. I felt lost and alone. For the first few months, I bounced from friend's house to friend's house, trying to get back on my feet. I applied to countless jobs, but no one seemed to want to hire me. I felt like a failure. But as the days turned into weeks, and the weeks turned into months, I started to realize that I had a choice to make. I could give up and continue down the path of aimlessness, or I could use this opportunity to turn my life around. I started by taking small steps. I got a part-time job at a local coffee shop, and I began to take online courses to improve my skills. I also started to read books on entrepreneurship and business, and I became fascinated with the idea of starting my own company. As the months went by, I started to gain momentum. I started to make a name for myself in the community, and people began to take notice of my hard work and determination. I landed a few small business deals, and I used the money to invest in my own business ventures. And then, 2 years after being kicked out of my parents' house, I received an email that would change my life forever. A prominent investor had taken notice of my work and wanted to meet with me to discuss a potential investment in my company. I was nervous but excited as I sat down with the investor. We talked for hours, and I pitched my business idea with passion and conviction. The investor was impressed, and we shook hands on a deal that would give me the funding I needed to take my business to the next level. Overnight, I became a successful entrepreneur. My company started to grow, and I was able to hire a team of talented employees. I was featured in magazines and newspapers, and I was invited to speak at conferences and events. I looked back on the day my parents kicked me out of the house as a blessing in disguise. It was the wake-up call I needed to turn my life around and pursue my dreams. I was grateful for the struggle, because it made me stronger and more resilient. And as for my parents, they were proud of me too. They saw the person I had become and were amazed at my success. They realized that they had made a mistake by giving up on me, and they apologized for not believing in me sooner. I forgave them, and we were able to reconcile. I even bought them a house, as a way of saying thank you for kicking me out all those years ago. It was a funny way to look at it, but it was the truth. If they hadn't pushed me out of the nest, I might still be stuck in a rut, going nowhere. Instead, I was flying high, and I had them to thank for it.